We will begin with Greg Barnes.
Hey, Gio. We talked a lot this week with Coach Chiswick as well as Cam Kelly about the importance of communication, especially on the back end. What would you say were some of the communication issues last year, and how are things different this off season, entering the season?
So me personally, I think the biggest difference coming in from last year to this year is Coach Warren and Coach Chiswick. They're making sure everybody knows the plays, not just the safeties making the call to the secondary, to the nickels and corners, and the linebackers to the D-line. It's the corners. You got to know if we get in this, if they get this, we got to make this call. Stars, you feel me? So it's not always just one person making one call. It's everybody having to know and do their job. And if you don't know or don't do your job, you just won't play. So it's definitely been they've been more strict on everybody knowing what they got to do. And I think that's definitely been a big help for safety, stars, and corners, just being able to talk. And even if a safety might catch a brain fart really quickly, the corner can help them, or vice versa. So that's been the biggest difference. And I think the biggest difference too is last year, we went from we get a play and it might be two formations where we could choose from. And now Coach Warren and Coach Chiswick are like, all right, we're going to have a couple of problems with a lot of answers. So now we have one play call, but we have every single formation you could think of. So instead of guessing like, hey, coach, when we get on the field, the offense gives us something, hey, what are we doing here? We just went over it in me, and if you don't know it, it's kind of on you. So just making sure guys are in their notes, they're going to give us everything we need, and I think we've taken advantage of that.
So is that only having like one play call and then having to make adjustments? Is that the clearest example of the simplification that Coach Warren and Coach Chiswick have talked about?
Yes, sir. So honestly, football is football. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same stuff most of the time. But being able to have the answers to, all right, if we get a 2 open formation versus 3-by-1, or just 3 bunch formation, just having the answers to what we need to do and quick. And that's the biggest thing, just being able to not to guess or have to think a second, because as soon as you think, that's what the offense wants you to think. They do those things so you can think and get off track. So the biggest thing has just been knowing those things. And I think that's been the biggest help for us so far.
Okay. Thank you, Gio.
Sure.
Alvaro Torres, go ahead.
Hi, Gio. Hope you're having a great day. You have one of the most experienced secondaries in the conference. What would you say that brings to your team, and what are your expectations for that unit this season?
So yeah, I was just actually thinking about that. So me, Storm, Cam Kelly, those guys talk about all the time. Like me, Cam Kelly, Don Chapman, Day Holland, Storm Duck. Just being the older guys now, we've kind of been around, kind of seeing how football works and stuff like that. So our expectations are pretty high for ourselves. We don't want to just be the best in the conference. We want to be the best secondary in the nation. And honestly, that's our expectation coming into the season. And we know we could do that. We got really good guys. We got the 2 best corners in college football, really good safeties, really good stars. So just being able to put all that together. And then even the young guys are doing really good. Will Hardy, Marcus Allen, DeAndre Boykins, all those guys are doing really good. So just being able to learn it, like I said, Coach Chiswick and Coach Warren coming in and making stuff a little bit more simpler, and not even just simpler, just giving us the answers to stuff has made us just become a better secondary.
And how are you feeling physically, and what are your personal expectations for this season?
I'm feeling really good physically. I had a procedure after the bowl game, a couple days after the bowl game, for an injury I was dealing with during the season, and I honestly felt better than I expected coming into camp. I thought it was going to be a little pushback, but I feel really good. I'm just trying to have the best season I can for my teammates and just go from there. So,
thanks, Gio.
Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Hey, Gio, jumping back on what Greg was asking you about, Coach Chiswick said yesterday that one of the missions is searching for inches on defense. And I think the relation is less confusion in pre-snap, a lot more clarity and simplicity in pre-snap means that you guys are always ready once the ball is snapped, so you don't lose those couple of inches, which was an issue last year. Have you seen that play out through the spring and certainly the first week of fall camp?
Oh, yes, sir, definitely. Just seeing guys like the linebackers, the D-line, like Power Echoes, Des Evans, guys who are so dominant, just be able to play fast and not think, and be able to just go at the snap or the ball and just make plays has been something that we've really seen change, and just everybody just making plays. But I think the thing that Coach Chiswick's definitely been harping on us about, there's inches all around us, and it starts with the D-line. I think guys have really been set on that and just making sure they're making plays, and just the simplicity and having the answer is always going to make things easier. Guys are going to be in the right spot all the time and just make plays. So
going back to that D-line, it's changed a lot since you arrived at Carolina. Can you sort of take us through what it was when you got there and what it looks like in front of you now?
So when I first got here, I remember Jason Strobridge, Aaron Crawford, Alan Cater, so those type of guys. But honestly, now it's so much size on the D-line. It's like I'm looking at guys across. I'm like, dang, who's going to be the starter? Who's going to be the first guy out? Because we got so many guys that can just play. if you're in there with the white group or the blue group, it's just so many guys that could be on the blue group or be on the white. You know what I mean? So just having those guys on the D line, bringing in Noah Taylor, he just looks the part. Him and Chris Collins on the edge look crazy. Des Evans, and then my favorite, Javari Ritchie. So just guys like that can really play physical on the D line and make plays. And Coach Chiswick's coaching them really hard with Coach Cross. So it's been fun to watch.
I have to ask, why is Javari your favorite?
Because he can do splits. He most athletic D lineman on the team.
Cool. Thanks,
He can
man.
do a lot.
Appreciate it.
Okay, our final question for Gio will come from Naya once again. Go ahead.
Gio, you mentioned young guys like Will Hardy and DeAndre Boykins as really doing well. So can you kind of explain to me kind of how they've been standing out to you?
So Will Hardy's actually my roommate in camp, and he's one of the guys. He's always in there early, watching film, going to bed on time, and just kind of taking the pro approach. Something that I wish I did a little bit better my freshman year, and I'd probably be having the same success as him. But he's definitely been doing a good job. You know, he's a coach's son, so he's definitely a really smart kid, and he's always asking questions, always trying to get better, and he's just a step faster than you think a freshman should be. And then DeAndre Boykins, who didn't play as much last year, he looks the part. He's really strong, really fast, and he has a different demeanor about him. He's like to me, the biggest dog in our secondary. You know, we call him the mean guys, him and Day Hollins. So just DeAndre Boykins just learning and being able to, like I said, the game's slowing down for him. And once the game slows down, it's so much easier for guys to play fast and play hard. And Marcus Allen, too, another freshman that came in playing corner, doing a really good job.
Thank you.
All right, Gio. Thanks, Gio, for a couple of minutes. Appreciate it.
Thank you.